Hi, I'm Jon Ola Sand, the Executive Supervisor of the Eurovision Song Contest, speaking to you from my living room. I've been working for the EBU in the role of the Executive Supervisor since 2011, and I'm leaving now and handing over to Martin Österdahl, who will continue to work in this position towards 21 and beyond. Lots of funny moments, but often when you work in such different territories as you do when you work with the Eurovision Song Contest, something can get lost in translation. I remember very well working in Azerbaijan, a really good team there, very polite, very structured. And when they asked me if I wanted a cup of tea, they really meant we have to have a meeting. I didn't realize that before many weeks. It was quite funny when I realized what they were asking for. Take it away is a special sentence for the Eurovision Song Contest. I have never used take it away outside of Eurovision Song Contest. I think it belongs there. It's a good phrase to actually hand over the word to those who have something important to say, the hosts and all the spokespersons. And that was Martin Österdahl. I needed to have something that was precise, and so that it was easy for the host to take over. And that's why I thought of Take It Away as a good push. It's a positive slogan for me, and it's something that's has been a trademark, which I'm proud of. I have many secrets and unknown stories from Eurovision Song Contest, but I'm not sharing these. They will stay with me. Although there are nothing that is very sort of spectacular around it. I mean, this is a job. It's a standard job where you do your best to maneuver a very complicated event. And of course, there will be challenges along the way, but there is nothing dramatic that has happened over the years. So I have nothing to share. My most emotional moments during my years in this position, many, because it's such a huge event creates a lot of emotions. But I think actually my most emotional moment with the Eurovision Song Contest was before I entered into this role. It was actually when I produced Eurovision Song Contest 2010 in Oslo. It was quite an emotional moment to see the whole machinery working. We managed to scale it down and do a very modest song contest, but I still think that is my proudest moment. There are lots of complicated moments during the year of Eurovision Song Contest. First of all, to establish the song contest. It's amazing because almost all the winning broadcasters are unprepared for this challenge. We try to prepare them throughout the year, but it is difficult. So to get it on track is often very complicated. It takes time to understand the complexity of the event that the host broadcaster is going to host. But we have a good team in place, and we managed to establish it quickly because we have a very short window. Lots of complicated moments, but maybe the first week is the most complicated. I enjoy the shows very much in my position as the Executive Supervisor, but it's first and foremost work. So I'm very focused, and I'm focused on the work and the complex setup that needs to work as it should. So it is an enjoyable moment, but from a professional point of view, I'm looking forward to sitting on my sofa and watch Eurovision Song Contest as a regular viewer, because that will be a totally different experience. I listen to a lot of different music. It depends on the mood, it depends on the day, it depends on the time of the day. I can listen to classical music, to grunge, to punk, rock, pop music, country music. I have a very broad music taste, and also, of course, Eurovision Song Contest. The voting in the Eurovision Song Contest is very, very complex. There's a lot of people involved. We have people in Vienna, we have people in Cologne, we have people on site in the venue who are checking and double checking, and we have both physical checks, but of course a lot of digital systems to verify the result. I'm really proud of the voting setup we have because it is accurate and it is precise, but it takes a lot to do it. It's very, very complex. So when you are watching the interval act, I'm actually focusing on the incoming figures to make sure that it's all handled according to the rules. This is the point where I'm most focused throughout the show. So I hardly can enjoy the interval act because I'm focused on this. What I've learned in my role as the Executive Supervisor is that you need to be a diplomat. You need to be able to speak to all the different people involved in the song contest, and there are hundreds and hundreds of them. And all the territories have different ways of working, and you have to understand how they think, how they prepare. You have to understand the pace they are working in, and we all have to glue this together to make it Eurovision Song Contest. My diplomatic skills has been developed quite a lot over these years. You have to make them believe in what they do, and you have to help them to achieve the best possible result. I have so many favorite performances. I think there's been so many strong and good acts and artists over the last decade. I cannot point out any specific because I think that wouldn't be fair. Not only the winners, but also strong acts that didn't make it to the final. Again, I will not point out any single act, but I've really enjoyed a lot of the moments. I would really like to go to all the participating countries to work with the Eurovision Song Contest. Many of them have not hosted it before, and it's always great to come into a new territory. Some of them have hosted it way back, long time ago, and will have a totally different take on it if they could host it today. I must say that I would love to go to the UK and work with the BBC on the Song Contest. Unfortunately, I will not do it, but the UK will win one year, and they will host it. All the editions of Eurovision Song Contest over the past decades have been my favorites because I really love this job, and it's great to enter into a new country, work with a new host broadcaster, a new city, because it's different. Every year is different, and I cannot point out any single year that is my favorite, actually, because I really have enjoyed all of them very, very much. I listen to all the songs, and I listen a lot. I follow all the rehearsals when I sit in front of the stage during the rehearsal weeks, and all these songs sticks into my head. It's often difficult to get them out of my head, and it's strange because when you listen to these songs again and again and again, and I have to, they all stick like glue. And I can even go back to many years ago, and I can almost go through the entire running order of the grand final of each of these years and memorize all of the songs. It's strange, but that's the way it is. So no particular song really stands out. They've all been fantastic. The Eurovision Song Contest is a very complex production, and every year has its challenges. I cannot really point out one year that has been more difficult than the other, because if it's easy on one side of the production, it's more difficult on the other side. And it's so much more than the 3 TV shows. When I leave the EBU and I leave the Eurovision, I will still be working with public service broadcasting. That's what I've done all my life. TV and media is my background, basically, and I will continue to do so, and I will continue to make sure that public service broadcasting stays strong, and working out from NRK in Oslo, Norway, with a very, very exciting project, and there will be more to come. What I will miss most, not being the executive supervisor of the Eurovision Song Contest, is actually the team I'm working with. I have a fantastic team at the EBU. We have fantastic partners all over Europe. We have great members. And when I see what public service broadcasters can do when they flex their muscle, that's something I really am going to miss. There are many things I'm proud of. We managed to present the voting in a much more exciting way, which I think have strengthened the ending of Eurovision Song Contest. I'm also really happy that we managed to bring Australia on board. And I know that it has been debated, and some of you might not be happy for that, but I think they have proved that they really belong in the Eurovision Song Contest family. Other things, strengthening the financial setup, making sure that we focus on good values for the Song Contest, that we give the slogan that we attach to the Song Contest every year, that we give that a meaning, the narrative. So there's plenty of things to be proud of, but there's so much more that can be done, and I'm sure that Eurovision Song Contest will continue to develop in the years to come. The new executive supervisor of the Eurovision Song Contest is very experienced and professional. He's been working with the Eurovision Song Contest as executive producer twice. He has a long career at SVT, Swedish Public Service Broadcasting, and he's very competent and professional. I'm already in talks with him, and I've been so for many weeks. And I'm sure he will find his way around, and I will be there, and I will advise him, and I will give him guidance if needed. So, thank you very much for your questions. I have to wrap up. Thank you for your support over many years. I wish you all well, and I can promise you, Eurovision Song Contest will come back stronger than ever.